Good.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Great.
Excellent.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute after the show.
Likewise. Thanks.
So let's begin our journey with this. 5 years ago, this pandemic changed everything. It was in the pre AI, going blinding fast days. But at the end of the day, how did you get through that era and how has it changed the way that you approach your life and business today?
Yes. Well, during the pandemic, that was crazy, obviously. But then 2020, 2021, I was working, but then 2022, I went on parental leave. And as the world was coming back, actually, tech is where things started getting bad in 2022. So, tons of people were getting laid off. Maybe you remember this.
Yeah,
People who aren't in tech don't know this because they were out of the air because the rest of the world was just doing way, way better.
yeah,
But tech was going through a recession. So, as I'm getting ready to come back from parental leave, is when it was just like the worst tech recession in like decades, right? And I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna take a step back and not just like cry myself to sleep in a corner
yeah.
and send my resumes off into a void and hang out with my baby and reassess my career and let me see what's out there. And that is when I, like, just by chance, stumbled upon what was back then the OpenAI playground. Dominant model back then was DaVinci 2 and DaVinci 3 had just come out. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. So this was, before the ChatGPT boom, right? And I'm thinking, why is nobody talking about this?
Yep.
Where's the media? Where are the developers? Where are the businesses? This is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. And I'm talking to my husband who's a developer, and I'm like, this is going to replace Google. This is going to change everything. He's like, lady, you are crazy. This is a language model. Do you even know what a language model is? Like, I do not, but I am going to learn and I'm going to figure it all out. And I decided I need to learn, like I need to figure out this, but this is where I need to be. So I start watching YouTube videos of influencers. I start doing hackathons. I start sitting in like dark corners of the internet and Discord groups talking to professors just because nobody was really talking about it, right? It was so unknown back then that I really had to dig deep. And I did, and I finally got my first foot in the door as a prompt engineer for a company called Copy AI. And they were one of the first companies to monetize on the OpenAI technology. It was them, it was Jasper, and it was one other company called Writer. They were like the only ones that were doing this back then. And that was a contract job. And then another contract came up, and this time in the product and marketing space. And my background was in product and marketing. That's what I was doing for over 10 years. And then another contract came up for an insurance company in prompt engineering. And so all these contracts kept coming up. And I decided, all right, well, it's now time to start my own company. This
Yeah.
is this is it. This is, people want AI. They want specifically consulting in AI. And then soon after, I realized, well, in order for me to be really competitive, it's not enough to just do prompt engineering and just like consulting on how to integrate AI into your products. I need to actually be building products. So, because I'm not a developer, I went out and I hired a team of developers who I had already formed very close connections with throughout my journey. And I have now a team of AI developers in US and UK. And now we're offering a full suite of solutions. So we are doing the strategy, we are building the product. And very soon after that, I also realized that's not enough because you can have the best strategy and you can have the best products. But if your people are not using it or they're not using it properly, you just blew a bunch of time and money out the window.
Yeah.
So we don't leave it to the product manager or to some middle manager. We actually train your people on how to use the AI technology, whether it's something that we build or whether it's the thousands of off-the-shelf AI tools out there. Like I have, saying there's an AI for that. There is definitely an AI for that. I will go out and I will find what is the proper tool, whether it's more appropriate for you to build or buy. We'll figure that out together and work within your workflow and then coach you one-on-one on how to use those tools. So this is what Lapis is now.
So I'm curious, what if I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at a career day and they wanted to know what you do for a living? How do you explain it to kids what you do for a living?
I help you improve your work with AI. I help you get better with AI.
Which they would totally understand because all of this is a learning curve for everybody. So when you were 12 years old, what was your dream job? What was your dream life?
I wanted to be a writer.
Okay. Okay.
I was,
So so talk to me. Did you write?
I
How did
did.
you evolve to
I,
this point?
I did write. I had published poetry. Yeah, I did write. I was an English major in undergrad.
Okay.
I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do once I hit that English major. But at that point, I realized, well, writing probably isn't going to pay very much.
Yeah.
I kind of want to feed my kids, you know?
Yeah.
But I majored in English and I then went into, I got an internship in advertising doing copywriting. And that evolved into then I got an internship in marketing communications. So there was a little natural evolution there. Then I got into marketing and my roles had progressed in marketing. So I did a variety of different roles in marketing that evolved more into marketing strategy and then more product or so like marketing slash product kind of roles. Yeah.
So as a writer, what was your favorite book growing up?
Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I read that several times. And then so that was my favorite. And then second favorite when I got a little bit older, probably in my like teenage years, was Brave New World.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great one. All of that stuff's becoming really real now too.
Oh, well, I actually did my undergrad thesis on how even back then, right?
Yeah.
How we are living in a brave new world. And this was I'm not going to say how long ago.
But yeah, it's weird. I just never thought it would manifest to this intense point that we're at. So it's bizarre. So let me ask you this. As a successful founder and CEO, who has been that inspirational force for you in your life? That heroic force?
It was always my mom.
Yeah.
Always. Like she came to US, she didn't know the language. She completely changed careers. She was an interpreter in the Soviet Union from Russian to German, and she became a nurse here. She got her nursing degree, she got her master's in nursing, she became a nursing director. So yeah, it was always her. And I changed my careers too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
guess I followed in her footsteps a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. If you could meet one person alive today, whether they're in AI, technology, a successful founder, CEO, who would you love to meet and have lunch with that might help you on your journey to ask them some questions?
Um, I would meet Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, including helping me on my journey because of the command of language. We know how models respond to even the slightest changes in language. So, for example, we recently learned that using Whisper with GPT-4o or Claude, this doesn't work as well with GPT-5, but you can still access the legacy model 4o, or you can do it with Claude. But saying Whisper, uh, copy to me, or whisper a blog, or whisper some ideas, right? And similar language that's emotional in nature. So, what do you feel about this? Let's explore this kind of language will get you better, more creative outputs in the kind of context when you need creative outputs, not when you need a mathematical analysis or anything like that, right? But if you're after more creative outputs, we know that using this type of language works better with these specific models. Okay. So there's a lot of things that we're learning, and who's the master of language, right? So we'd love to meet him.
So, talk to me a little bit about what gets you up every day. What motivates you to stay on the cutting edge of all of this AI and to keep things moving and to take care of your soul, your family, all of these things? What's that collective energy for you?
Um, well, my kid is definitely the thing that gets me up in the morning, for
Yeah.
sure, both literally and figuratively. He's my primary motivator. Um, but beyond him, I want to make people better with technology. I see how much we can improve our work, how we can work faster, and that will give us back time to spend with our family to, hopefully not work more, but yeah, we can get more done. We can get more clients. We can get more money. We can get promotion. We can, get all those things. But at a certain point, there's only so many jobs to be done, right? So hopefully at a certain point, we as a society can realize that there are only so many jobs to be done and that we can have AI do some of those jobs so that we can take back our time and spend time with our family and go out and have fun with our friends and go, I don't know, play with the dog or whatever it is that you enjoy doing, read a book or have a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, right? And even on the medical side, for example, all the advances that AI has made on the medical side, giving people longevity, giving people time more, more time with their loved ones, right? On the education side, how we are able to evolve. So I want to contribute to that.
So, let me ask you this. If you were to have a dream and run into like the 18-year-old version of you, and you showed that version of you kind of a picture book of your life, would they believe how things turned out?
No. No, definitely not. I never thought that I would be in AI. Um, Marketing was probably, I would buy marketing for sure. I would buy that. I would buy product, definitely. I wouldn't think AI at all.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to do AI with the old form of AI, right? It would have been just completely inaccessible to me because I would have needed to know how to write code in order to work with that kind of AI and understand that kind of AI. The new form of AI, it's natural language, so it's completely different. And that when, that's how I'm able to coach people because anyone can use it. And there's many tools out there that don't even require natural language because they're, a combination of menus or drop downs or whatever the situation is, right? But I taught my 85-year-old grandmother how to use ChatGPT, and now she uses it for her writing to adapt different writing styles for different publications. So it's accessible to anyone. Anyone can use it. You just have to know how and have a good teacher along the way.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. If you were to walk into a room of everybody that knows you in a business sense, as a business leader in that capacity, and you could go to that front of that room and tell them a fun story about you, like the first concert you went to, a wonderful vacation you went on, an adventure, jumping out of an airplane, outrunning a bear, what would be a funny story that you could, or a fun story, I should say, that you could tell that group of people that would humanize you a little bit?
Hmm. Let's see. Well, I can tell you a life-changing story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, One of the most life-changing experiences I've ever had was doing what's called Vipassana meditation. So I went on a 10-day silent retreat where you are literally in silence for 10 days.
Wow.
There is no electronics, no books, no writing. You wake up at like the crack of dawn. Literally, there's a dong bell that goes off. And you meditate for approximately 11 hours a day, not consecutively, but it in total, it's approximately 11 hours a day. There's 3 hours in a group setting, and then the rest of the time you do it individually. Um, and the craziest thing is that the waking up early, I'm not a vegetarian, so I had to eat vegetarian food, and I love meat, I love bacon, egg, and cheese. Um, all that's, waking up early and the silence. I mean, you could talk to like regarding like administrative stuff, and you have a teacher you can ask questions, right? They encourage that, but only during like a specific time.
Yeah.
It's not 100% silence, like you don't need to write on a board or anything like that. But it is, for all intents and purposes, silence for 10, really 12 days, but 10 full days. None of that stuff was actually that difficult because
Right.
everyone else was doing it.
Yeah.
Because you were in a space where that is the norm and everyone is doing it. So none of that stuff was that hard. The hardest part was the meditation technique itself,
Wow.
was getting that right, was being in that meditative state for that full hour, not moving for a full hour at a time, and staying focused for one full hour at a time without your brain running wild and thinking about anything and everything except, the actual meditation. That was the hardest part of it all.
Wow.
But it was absolutely life-changing, and I've kept up with it since then. I have a kid, so I can't just pick up and leave for 10 days now,
Yeah.
or even 3 days, because they have shorter ones. I can maybe get 20 minutes if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But I still keep up with it, and it was a really transformational experience, and it's completely free, and which is incredible, and it's like offered all over the world. It's a major organization, and I highly recommend it for anybody, anyone. If you can physically survive sitting, and they offer chairs for people that have need accommodations, then I highly recommend it for anyone because it really was truly life-changing.
Yeah, that's a great story. So, of everything that you've done, accomplished, and evolved to at this point in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Um, Having my kid, that was hard.
Yeah.
That is hard. He is 3 and he is alive, and I feel like that is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No, he's more than alive. Like he's doing really good. He's a smart cookie.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, let me ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you and all these different lights, family, friends, everybody in business, everybody that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am a um, business owner. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. And I am making waves in AI.
So the most important piece here, if anyone wants to reach out, they have questions, they're interested, AI is the topic of the century at this point. How can people reach out, hire you, any of the good businesses that you have, or services, I should say? Where do they go?
Yes, so please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm at Olga Topchaya, or they can go on our website, lapisconsults.com. And I am happy to do coaching for individuals or teams, as well as AI consulting on integration strategy and custom software development.
Excellent. Olga, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for opening up this world. I appreciate it. I will put all these links in the show notes, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe.
Absolutely. Thank you.